They say you can't catch your own reflection off guard, but last night, mine blinked after I did, and that was just the beginning. I know how it sounds, but I've never told anyone how the mirrors in my apartment started showing me things I've never done, places I've never been. It began subtly. My reflection would wave a second too late, or smile when I wasn't. I kept telling myself it was just stress, lack of sleep. But then the scene shifted, my reflection sitting at a table with strangers I never met, wearing clothes I don't own. The worst part was how familiar it all felt. I watched, night after night, as my double lived out a life that felt like it should have been mine. She laughed with friends I'd always wished I had, moved with a confidence that made me ache. Each night, the glass seemed thinner, the border between us more fragile. Sometimes, her world looked brighter, the colors more vivid, like she was living in the version of my life I'd always dreamed of. Last night, something changed. As I brushed my teeth, I noticed a flicker behind me in the mirror, a movement that didn't match my own. My heart pounded as I turned, but the room was empty. When I looked back at the mirror, she was closer, her face nearly pressed against the other side of the glass. Her eyes were hungry, her smile stretching too wide, and for the first time, she raised her hand and pressed it against the inside of the mirror, beckoning me forward. Tonight, I couldn't help myself. I reached out to touch her hand. The glass was ice cold, and I felt a jolt shoot up my arm. That's when I saw her standing behind me, not in the mirror, but in my apartment, her smile splitting impossibly wide. As I tried to scream, she whispered in my ear, "Now we switch." The last thing I saw before everything went black was my own terrified face, staring back at me from the other side of the glass.